In this video, I'll show you how project level permissions work in ProcessKit. So let's go ahead and create a new project, and let's just call this project July Cleanup, and we'll use our default project type, and you'll see this setting here that says who can see this project. Now by default, it'll be visible to everyone, but you can switch it to specific members. We'll set that up in just a minute, but for now, let's just go with everyone. So now that we've created this project called July Cleanup, everybody in your account can see it because we've set it to be visible to everyone. You can change that setting here under Manage Access, and that's where you can switch it between everyone and members. If you switch it to members, you'll see that yourself, you've already been assigned as a member because you created this project. And so now with that set, if we click Update, now this project is only visible to myself because I'm the only member on this project. Everybody else in your account cannot see this now. So let's go ahead and start to add more people so that they can see it. Let's add Emma. So now when Emma logs into her ProcessKit account, she will also be able to see this July Cleanup. But if we remove her, then she can't. Let's go ahead and add a simple process, things to do, and let's give it floor. Wash the windows. Okay, so we've got some things on our task list to do here. Now, the other way that you can assign members to this project is by assigning them to tasks or steps in a process. So you can go to one of these steps and you can assign people to it. Now, I can assign myself because I'm already on this project, or if I assign any of these people, then it will both assign them to this step and it will make them a member on this project. So let's go ahead and assign Juliet to this step. And so now, as you can see, Juliet has been added as a member on this project as well as added to be assigned to this step. So when you assign people to tasks in a process, then they will be automatically assigned to the project that that process is on. Now, if we were to try to remove Juliet from the project, it's going to tell us that we can't remove her because she is currently assigned to some process steps. So we'll need to first remove her from those steps, and now we'll be able to remove her from the project. So anybody who is assigned to any steps in a process that's on a project will also be members of a project. Now, if you want to set it up so that you can't assign people to steps if they're not already on the project, you can do that by opening up Manage Access and unchecking the box for this, which says assigning a person to a task will make them a member of this project. If that's unchecked, then when we try to assign people to a step, the only available people here will be the people who are already members on this project. So for example, if Trey was a member of the project, then when we assign people, he's one of the available people that we can assign to. But if we have that checked, as it should be by default, then we can assign anybody to a step. And when we assign somebody who's not on the project, it will add them to the project. All right, now let's remove Trey. And let's go ahead and add one of our process templates. This time, let's do our set up a new campaign process. Now that process has some steps in it which have pre-assigned people to those tasks. So when we copy this process into this project, you'll see that it imported that process, it assigned those people, and it automatically added them to this project. And that's because we had this box checked. Now, if I go ahead and delete that process and I remove these people from the project, let's try that again, but before we do, let's uncheck this box and let's import that process. It will import the process, but it won't assign the people unless they were already members of this project. Now, you can remove yourself from a project if you want to, but if you're the only person assigned to that project, it won't let you. There always has to be at least one person assigned to a project. See, if I try to remove myself, it says I can't remove the only member. So that's also something to keep in mind. All right, so now let's go back to our projects and create a new one, this time with some different settings. All right, now before I create the next project, let me just show you something. Our new client onboarding project type, which we're going to use in a minute, if we look into its settings, we'll see that it is set up to preload two of our processes. We've got new client onboarding and set up a new campaign. These will be automatically loaded in when we create a new project using the new client onboarding process. Now let's just take a quick peek at those processes. The new client onboarding process looks like this. It has a bunch of steps, and it assigns people to those steps. And the campaign, set up a new campaign, has some steps and assigns some people to that as well. So let's go back and create a project, a new client onboarding project. And let's say that we're onboarding the New York Mets. That's the client that we're onboarding this month. So we're going to create a new project for that. And we want it to import our onboarding processes, as you just saw. Now let's set this one to be members only. We'll choose the members in a minute. But now, since we have this box checked for assigning a person to a task, we'll make them a member of this project. And if you want to get more detail on that, you can take a look at this explanation of it. Since we have that checked, we're going to create this project. And you'll see that all these people have been automatically added to this project. And that's because if we look at our processes, we automatically loaded in these two processes, new client onboarding and set up a new campaign. And these processes had people that were assigned to them. So those people were automatically added to the project. Okay, so now let's go back and create one more project. This will also be a new client onboarding project. This one is for the New York Yankees. And we're going to do members only, but this time we're going to uncheck the box for assigning a person to a task. We'll make them a member of the project. We'll uncheck that, because the reason why you might want to uncheck that is to prevent anyone from automatically being assigned. You want to explicitly select who should be assigned. But since we're using this onboarding project type, it is going to automatically import our processes. But by unchecking that box, we're going to ensure that those processes don't also bring in the people to the project. So we'll create that project now. And you'll see that I'm the only member of this project as I wanted it to be. Now, if I go to processes, it did import those processes, but it only assigned the people who were already assigned to the project. So it basically created the steps. It just didn't create the assignments because those people weren't already members of this project. If I want to manually add them, we can go in here and check that box, and we can start to add people to the project just like that. So that's how project level permissions in ProcessKit work. Remember, by default, when you create any new project, it will be visible to everyone by default. But if you do want to limit it to certain members, you can use that option as well. Any questions, let me know.